Okay, so the next one is building on something you don't own. So for our next thing, the second thing is building on something you don't own. If you think about this analogy, and it's ironic that over here, over in Europe, there were a spate of people that were living in the UK, saw some really nice land in Spain. They would go over to Spain. They would, find out from the local authorities which pieces of land they could buy. They would get architects in. They would spend time getting builders in. They would build these beautiful properties, only to find out that they couldn't fully own the property. Now, this was going back a couple of decades, and there are many countries in the world, of course, where that can happen, including right here in the UK. When I speak to the more advanced people who are marketing their businesses much more, people are putting themselves out there much more, people who are maybe more known for the work they do, one of the things that they have got down is they're really, really aware that they are building on land that they don't own when they go onto a social media platform. It's not like a website where it's your website, it's your address, you point people to it. And if you don't can't really see this for yourself, think about the incident in, I think it was 2021, and I think it might have even happened in 2020, when a few of the social media platforms just went down for a number of hours. I mean, minutes is bad enough, people freak out. I feel a bit smug because at that point I was busy doing something else, so I didn't realize until the next day. So I wasn't hit by that wave of panic of, oh my gosh, my content, where is it? Will I ever get it back? Will I ever be able to be on the platform again? Have I been chucked off? Have I been deleted? All of those things that are really quite real fears when you're faced with them. So again, I'm not saying don't build on social media, but what I am saying is be aware that you're building on something you don't own. And the irony of this is, when I first started in this work, especially talking about online visibility on social media, I used to say, plan to be visible in a way that if something happened and one of the, your most trusted platforms were to close overnight, that you would be okay. You wouldn't lose all of your business. And the reason I said this was because some of my clients and the people coming to me were marketing themselves, sometimes on just one platform, sometimes on a couple of platforms. But if that platform were to disappear overnight, then they wouldn't have a business. And it's specifically the business community that it would hit and would affect if you then don't have a business because that's disappeared, or you don't have a backup plan. So that's the second thing, building on something you don't own. The third thing is the difference between being seen, being heard in 2021, 2022, and moving forward. And the thing that I do want to say is, given the hard road that many of us globally have traveled, some people found the pandemic harder to cope with and deal with than others. And some of those people are your next connections, are your next companies, are your next clients, are your next new best friends, are your next raving fans. One of the things that I saw drastically change, because I was in the eye of the storm, so to speak, was that with all of the safety and social distancing, shutting things down, taking care of ourselves, be it spending time with our pets, our families, our loved ones, there was this stretch and pull of being apart and away from people. Think of all the networking, the events that got cancelled. But there was also this pull to be with the people we really wanted to be with. And, unfortunately, some relationships realized they really didn't want to be with those people in that way. And then we have things in the mix like domestic abuse and stuff like that. All of this to say that from 2020, 2021, 2022, and I'm sure moving forward, one of the things that people started to realize that they might not have realized before is that genuine connection, genuine kinsmanship, genuine support, genuine collaborations, genuine bringing of people together for many businesses, for many people on social media is actually what they were looking for, and some people didn't even realize what they were craving for, and what builds really cohesive communities. You know, some of those communities fell apart, not necessarily just because of that, but when you're in a space where you feel like people see you, people really truly hear you, and people understand and get you, whether you're the person that's creating that community or one who's in or within that community or both, that is the thing that makes the biggest difference. So if there's one thing you take from this audio moving forward, if you're part of bringing communities and people together, or if you're within a community, we all have a part to play, not just the person responsible for running it or bringing people together, but even the people within that community. Being seen and being heard is different. It's about collaboration, genuine collaboration. It's about community. It's about the bringing together. So remember that moving forward, and infuse that in whichever ways you decide to be visible: online, offline, social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, whatever you decide. So the next point, number 4, pay to play. This is like a digital slot machine. So one of the reasons why many business owners cite being on social media is because I have a business, I have to be in as many places as possible so as many people can see me. But the truth of the matter is they are free platforms, and I feel like the ship has sailed for the time of really rinsing it online. Now, of course, you're going to have people that are doing things, very extraordinary things online today in 2022, as I record this, but that they are in the minority, not the majority. So a lot of people I see and hear aspiring to be like somebody else on a platform, aspiring to grow those audiences. And there might be slightly more effective ways for them to do that. And one of those ways, of course, is through advertising, paid advertising. Now, the reason that I bang the drum about visibility is I think every platform is entitled absolutely to paid advertising. But what sometimes happens is, because you might see the success of somebody else through paid advertising, you know, they put down 10,000 a week in ads and they get back 100K's worth of business a week in ads or more. That's a really good, great return on investment. But the foundations of knowing how to be online, how to be on social media, like how to be seen and heard in those spaces, are fundamentally important. I can't even tell you how important, because even with the biggest ad budget in the world, if you haven't got your foundation sorted and your clients don't know that you're speaking to them, you're not being seen and heard by the people you want to be seen and heard by. Unfortunately, you can throw as much money as you like towards the digital slot machines. It's just not going to pay off in the way that you want it to. And I've seen this time and time and again. I've had people come and work with me after having those experiences, or after throwing their money at a specific guru or shining light and not quite getting the return in the investment that they wanted to. My job isn't to make somebody feel like an idiot. It isn't to make them feel unworthy. My job is to have them be seen, be heard, be visible, and be ready at any point, any time, at any place, anywhere. So if you have started to master this for your business or yourself, and if you think about it from the terms of LinkedIn, if you're looking for a job, there'll be a mastery in being seen by the right recruiters, for example. Once you've really discovered more of that for yourself, then pay to play. Don't try and do it the other way to hope that it works. Even looking at someone else's great ad and almost mimicking or modeling that ad isn't guaranteed to get you the success in being visible. So there are many people who don't want to pay to play. And if not, especially, we're all the ones that will need to get better at raising our profile, putting ourselves out there and becoming more visible. And I say we, I include myself in this. I wish I could say I've learned it all, I know it all. There's always more for us to learn, always, in this field. And then number 5, the return on investment and actually monetizing. And this is where I can give you a really great example of the differences between online and on social media, or YouTube and Facebook. So when you think about it, the way that Facebook/Meta is built, Instagram is built, even Twitter is built, it's built to for you to share content and for your content to be the thing that keeps their audience on the platform. So the pressure that a lot of business owners find themselves in, they struggle with the overwhelm of constantly created content. They worry that people aren't engaged in their content or aren't even seeing it or notice it. And they wish that it could be easier, sometimes without having to go down the ad route, because maybe they haven't made the sort of income yet that they feel comfortable with putting this money forward. Now, on YouTube, you can put your content up there, and YouTube has come a long way over the years. It's affiliated with Google. So if people are looking in Google for you, they could find your content on YouTube. It means that you might have to play a little bit with the title and the wording, but that's okay. It does mean, though, that when people comment on your stuff, if you really wanted to not have them comment, you can switch comments off, so you can control that. Yes, you can do that on social media, but it's less likely that if somebody comments in a derogatory way on your YouTube comment, that other people, other keyboard warriors, are going to pile in and start tearing you down in quite the space in time. It is possible that people can still voice their opinions and not be kind on any platform, but it's not as likely to happen because it works in a different way. You have a little bit more control, but here's what I really love about the YouTube side of things. When you are showing up, especially on video, especially on camera, it accelerates the connection that people have with you. And remember at point number 3, the difference between being, or the difference in being seen and heard. People want more connection. And when you're on camera, regardless of how you look, and despite popular belief, you don't have to look like a glamour model. Despite your surroundings, no longer do you have to be in a studio. Despite your accents or how you sound, no longer do you have to speak a specific language perfectly, have a certain enunciation, sound a certain way. You get to pull out your phone, create a video as you're skateboarding down the street, as you're picking your kids up from school, not as you're driving in the car. I don't condone video and driving. Anyone that knows me knows it's one of my things. If I see someone doing it, even if it's a stranger, I will stop them. Your life is far more important. But pretty much anything else, you can be visible anytime, at any place, anywhere. Now, many of the years when I've spoken at conferences and with corporates and execs, they say, oh, but with us, we need to run it past the marketing department and they have to sanction that it's okay, which to a point is true. But actually, you as a CEO of a multinational business, sitting in your garden with the dogs playing in the background, the kids running in, wanting a hug, and you delivering a message to your thousands and millions of employees worldwide, carries far more weight than something that was contrived with a teleprompter, serious lighting, serious suit, nice tie, expensive, shirt, or any of that. Those days are gone. The only time to really pay attention to that is in keeping with your company policy, of course. And, if you are on a video business building piece. You know, there's certain jobs where you have to look a certain way. By the way you dress, you have to dress a certain way. Okay, so other than that, it's one of the quickest and best ways to make a connection. Don't worry if you don't have a gazillion trillion subscribers. As long as you've got one subscriber, do a good job for them, be visible for them, be seen and heard for them. It makes such a difference. So I'm going to talk more in the next video about the return on investment and actually monetizing. But I'm going to ask you, or leave you with this quick question. For those of you who are building a business and doing a lot of stuff on social media, spending a lot of time creating content, I want you in your own way just to reflect in the few seconds and minutes after this video, what's your actual return on investment? If you're looking to grow your business financially, what's your actual financial return on investment? If you're looking to grow your audiences, what's your actual return on investment? If you're looking to tell the people and spread the word, what's your actual return on investment? And if you're a business owner, even if you're a non-for-profit, are you monetizing? I'll be back with some more on audio number 10. I can't wait to see your comments. Bye for now.